myself. My talk is a little bit different from other speakers. So in this talk, I would like to share our pediatric SITs activities along with our previous findings and future challenges. The SIG for Pediatrics was launched during the APLAR conference held in Brisbane in 2019. Professor Smila Farman has been serving by the convener since its inception and continued to hold the position at present. We very thank her for her leadership and contributions. So far, there are 44 members from 19 out of 32 APLAR MNOs. The 19 countries are shown in color in this map. We need to expand the number of countries participating in the pediatric SIGs. As of 2021, the total number of children at the age of 15 is approximately 1.9 billion in the world and 1.2 billion in the Asia Pacific region. These figures are based on the latest estimate from the United Nations Population Division. Pediatric rheumatic disease are rare, very, very rare compared to adult rheumatism. And the exact number of patients with pediatric rheumatic disease, including connective tissue disorders, vasculitis, and autoinflammatory disorders is still unknown. However, the World Health Organization estimates the overall incidence rate of pediatric rheumatologic disorders to be around 1.2 per 1,000 individuals. From this information, we can estimate that approximately 2 to 4 million children with rheumatic disease in Asia Pacific region. So there are serious unmet needs in pediatric rheumatology in Asia Pacific regions. Unmet needs with top priority are shown here. Lack of understanding of epidemiology and medical care, and shortage of pediatric rheumatologists. At least in some countries and regions, there is a shortage of pediatric rheumatologists, thus highlighting their need for improved education and training for their cultivation. Countries with low GDP have the most percentage of young population, with least public health spending and the most shortage of pediatric rheumatologists. In this slide, let me share the situation of pediatric rheumatologists in Japan. In project, Pediatric Rheumatology Association of Japan, currently I am in charge of this association. The membership count is approximately 600 in 2022. Also, there are 114 Japan colleagues of rheumatology board certificated pediatric rheumatologists. This may be a large number compared to other Asian Pacific Rim countries. Map of Japanese prefectures shows a distribution of pediatric rheumatologists. The left panel shows the actual number of pediatric rheumatologists, and the right panel shows the number of pediatric rheumatologists per pediatric population under 15 years old. Pediatric rheumatologists in Japan are mainly concentrated to urban areas. There is a shortage of pediatric rheumatologists in some areas when adjusted for the pediatric population. The countries shown are those participating in the pediatric SID. There is no country without children. The definition of a certificated pediatric rheumatologist in the AGM Pacific region is not standardized by region. However, it's very necessary to increase the number of countries participating in SID and to recognize the directory of pediatric rheumatologists and the areas where there is shortage. Now we have 4 main missions as a pediatric SIG, as shown in this slide. I'd like to talk about each of these missions. The 4 missions are education of physician and the patient, formulation of an APLAR management guideline of each disease. 3, development of a registry in APLAR. 4, development of research collaboration.
Okay, I know. So, but how can I come back?
The COVID-19 pandemic has facilitated the widespread adoption of online seminars, which has been advantageous for our international exchanges. Through webinars, we are able to share knowledge on pediatric rheumatology, education, clinical experience, and their latest advancement. We have been conducting the series of webinars approximately 3 times a year since 2021. Primary focus is on the country in charge, where case presentations are given, followed by discussion and exchange of opinions. We hope to develop hybrid training program across the region. A course committee has actually been formed. Learning by case report may not be intensive or comprehensive enough. In project, with the aim of further improving the level of knowledge in pediatric rheumatology, e-learning sessions have been available on the website since last year. I showed just part of the seminar. New contents are being released sequentially this year. Unfortunately, the lectures are given in Japanese and limited to the project members. But if requested by the APLAR and if funds are available, we may be able to identify the contents in need and add subtitles or create an English version as our cooperated activity for this pediatric SIG. We are working on the APLAR management guideline. We think it is very necessary to develop the recommendations for the treatment of JIA in low resource setting. As you know, JIA is one of the major pediatric rheumatic disease. Several treatment guidelines have been published, including those in Europe and the United States. This is a guideline and for non-systemic JIA issued by ACR in 2019. This algorithm is for the treatment non-systemic JIA proposed by Japan. I introduced some of the essence of the algorithm. Methotrexate is the only CDMARD approved for JIA. If the patient is intolerant to methotrexate or has inadequate response, a biologic agent should be applied. In Japan, there's a publicly funded medical subsidy program. Although the details of approved biologics differ from those in Europe and the United States, the application of biologics to severe refractory case is common to the Japanese algorithm. However, in low resource countries, treatment choice that follow the proposed treatment guidelines may not be possible for economic reasons. It is against this backdrop that we are working to develop GI's recommendation for cases in this situation. We aim and hope that this guideline will be able to apply to all Asia Pacific countries, which will also include countries with limited resource. In terms of this project, we are planning to upgrade the existing guidelines developed in the last 5 years using Agree 2 and use adapted to adopt the guideline. Also, we need to consider some concerns specific to Asia Pacific region. We have to keep working on this project. Next, we move on the issue of registry. Pediatric rheumatic diseases are rare, but the registry is very important for the development of medical care and research. In Japan, the project has been operating a registry for several years. Primary data on about 400 cases were reported last year. GRA is the most common, as shown in this slide, followed by lupus and juvenile dermatomyositis. By subtypes of JIA, the systemic type account for 40%, and RF positive polyarthritis, RF negative polyarthritis, and oligoarticular type each accounting to about 20%. This proportion of their subtypes may be different from other Asian countries. Ideally, a prospective registry is desired. The inclusion of a biorepository offers greater potential for clinical research, but operating a registry requires network organization, manpower, and funding. However, it's a great goal to be able to study the characteristics of case groups with Asian Pacific ancestry using the registry. Within Asia, difference can be inferred between the Far East, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East Asia. We believe that various collaborations are necessary for the development of pediatric SIG. There are academic pediatric rheumatology organization, McCarroll in North America, and the press in Europe. But first of all, we need to build the ties within the Asian Pacific Rim. Our goal to establish ties within the Asian Pacific Rim and to promote collaboration with Europe and North America. We have to overcome the time difference and daily business and work together for the development of pediatric rheumatology in the Asian Pacific Rim. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Takako. Personally, I would like to appreciate this wonderful presentation, which is definitely not the usual that we expect, but so necessary to demonstrate to all of you in Japan and globally that pediatric rheumatology has such a crisis and critical shortage of health personnel who are trained in pediatric rheumatology. So I want to say thank you, wonderful presentation. Secondly, there are no questions, but I